So
Uh-huh.
coming off of that show, I actually, to be honest with you, I had a girlfriend who convinced me to go to the Marymount Music Festival. And I was single at the time, and her by her convincing me, I mean that she was like, there's a lot of white tank tops and Wrangler like tight jeans, and the guys are super hot. So that was her convincing me. So I thought to myself, oh my word, I've never been to a country festival before. I don't know. Like, and she goes, I got a full tank of gas and my Jeep is sitting outside my house. And I went, well, twist my arm. I guess I'll go. So I headed up to the festival, and that was actually where I fell in love with country music.
When the heart is hard to take, I need a song to numb the pain. Yeah, when it's wrong, I need a drinking song. Well, I met him at the Blue Ridge Bar.
I want to officially welcome you
Thank
to the
you.
show. This is Pop-Up Conversations, and we talk to artists across Canada about their music journey and what they're working on currently. So, uh,
Perfect.
very welcome, Karen, to the show.
Great to meet you. Thank you.
Awesome. It's very, very exciting to be talking to you, of course, because of your very credible past. I know that a lot has happened to you since after the Canadian Idol, which is massive, and I want to talk about that for a bit. But since I'm meeting you for the first time, if you want to take me just on a brief journey as to how you got on the Idol to begin with, like where did music spark for you?
Sure, yeah. Canadian Idol was actually something I never thought I would ever do. In fact, when I saw American Idol, I'll be totally honest. I mean, I loved watching it, but I was one of those people that sat on the couch and went, I'll just never do that. Like, I'm not going to be on a reality show. It's just
But
not
why though? Can
me.
I? Why?
Sorry.
Why?
I don't know. I just kind of felt like it just wasn't me. It wasn't like I didn't really want to kind of be like that on the screen. Like, I mean, obviously all our goal in the music industry is to be recognized and noticed and have people listen to our music. And so for that, I obviously saw the benefit of that, but I kind of thought, well, there's so much more to reality TV than just that. There's so much drama in it. And, it's like, for me, it made me feel like, I don't know, like it was a bit going back to high school, and I just kind of didn't want to like have all that drama associated. I just wanted to do the music part, like just
Uh-huh.
give me the music part. And to be honest with you, I thought I might move down to Nashville. And I'm sitting on the couch one day, and there was this kind of year in between where I knew I'd be able to go, and then I had this kind of timeline that I kind of didn't know what I was going to be doing with it. So I didn't know that Canadian Idol was going to be a thing. And I'm sitting on the couch one day, and it pops up that, they're accepting auditions coming to your home city, blah, blah, blah. And I went, oh my goodness. Okay. And I remember it took about 30 seconds before my phone started beeping, and people started going, oh my goodness, you should totally try out for this, you completely should. And I just thought, oh my word, am I really going to do this? So to be honest with you, yeah, it was just kind of that in between time of this is kind of my focus, but I can't do that yet, so what am I going to do in the meantime? So I lined up like everybody else, and it was the second day. They told me I think it was around 3 a.m. that we need to come back the next day, and because they were done their audition period for that day. And then came back the next day, and then ended up in the top 200, and then went down to the top 90 was the next amount of people, and then it went to top 30, and then that broke into 3 groups of 10.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in the top 11, and I think I landed in like, I don't know, it was like 8 or 9 or something like that. Yeah.
No, but that's fantastic. Of course, like reality television for entertainment now, especially for music, has blown up. Right? Like you have The Voice, you have all of these different shows. But at the time you did it, again, I want to harken back a little bit to what I read about you. And you said your first memory of music itself was listening to your father. I think, like memorizing what he sang when you were like 4 years old or something
Yeah.
like that. And you've been chasing music ever since. But to even have the confidence to want to throw your hat in the ring for something like a Canadian Idol, it means that at the time you were already kind of set on the path you wanted to chase. Am I correct?
Yeah, it was quite new for me. I was honestly I had entered a couple of karaoke competitions and had been singing a few little live things here and there. But I don't think it was until I was on Canadian Idol where it really opened my eyes and I kind of went, okay, yeah, this is something that I'd like to do for a living. I think before I always thought I'm gonna waitress and sing,
Mm.
and then after that I thought, you know what, I'm still gonna waitress and sing until I might not have to waitress anymore and I can just sing. So my focus kind of shifted.
I hear you. I hear you. So I listened to one of the songs you performed on the Idol, and it was Black Velvet, and the vocals and your performance was just incredible. Like you killed it. I think.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
how was the competition itself? Just the experience of going from week to week, or however it was done, performing live and stuff like that.
I had no idea. I mean, we all know all the different amazing Canadian talent, acts that we have out of Canada. I mean, Shania Twain, Justin Bieber, keep going, Drake, how many amazing people have come out of our country. But I had no idea sitting in a room with 200 people, like every single person that went up on stage, and I mean, this is not to be rude at all, but we all know that they have the best of the worst show. There's going to be a couple of eggs in there. So I would say, honestly, out of 200, it was probably 170, and I thought any one of them could win this. Like, it was legitimately like that, and that created all these nerves. Like, before, you're kind of going, well, people told me that, like, I can sing and that's so great and I'm excited and so on and so, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're going, no, but wait a minute, so can all of they, and I think it's a good thing, because I think it makes you sit up a little taller and it makes you appreciate that, you better work for this and you better really want it and you better really listen, because one wrong note, one tiny mistake, you're on live TV with 6 million people looking, at you on their couch, and it sounds way different through a television than it does where I'm standing too, right? So you gotta really, perk up and pay attention and gotta take it seriously, And of course, there was all the little drama bits and funny things that happened. One in particular makes me laugh. One girl left her microphone on during a choreographed scene and she went to the bathroom.
Oof.
So that was a good one. So that was like, note to self, always turn your battery pack off when you're doing anything but music.
Yeah, hot mics have been known to put a lot of people in trouble. But
yes.
But to your response, though, I have two comments. I think just you made mention of just the sheer talent we have here in Canada, and I really want to just jump in and to say that's why we do this show. We talk to a vast amount of people, yourself, who's much farther along, and people who are just coming into the game. But it's just amazing how much talent we get to meet here on this show, and we couldn't possibly sing the praises enough of Canadian talent and Canadian artists. So I wanted to pick up from what you just said. But moving along, though, a lot has happened to you after that experience, right? You've gone on to win like multiple awards, which of course emphasizes or reiterates your talent and the ability of your voice, which is just extremely gorgeous. Typically, when shows like that end, people are trying to find their way and what happened next? Like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get from there to the person you are now?
Well, it's interesting. I actually, when I was on Canadian Idol, I didn't sing any country music because, to be honest with you, I thought that I was going to go down the blues road and kind of be more of like a blues rock singer. Now, within the country that I sing today, I think that is still heard within either the music that I'm choosing, if it's pitched to me, or the music that I'm writing, or just the deliverance of how I sing it. But at the time, the songs that I sang on Canadian Idol were Let It Rain, Black Velvet, and Nora Jones' Come Away With Me were three of the main ones for me. And, and none of them are country. So coming off of that show, I actually, to be honest with you, I had a girlfriend who convinced me to go to the Marymount Music Festival. And I was single at the time, and by her convincing me, I mean that she was like, there's a lot of white tank tops and Wrangler like tight jeans, and the guys are super hot. So that was her convincing me. So I thought to myself, oh my word, I've never been to a country festival before. I don't know, like, and she goes, I got a full tank of gas and my Jeep is sitting outside my house. And I went, well, twist my arm, I guess I'll go. So I headed up to the festival, and that was actually where I fell in love with country music. And so from then, I ended up being introduced to the BC Country Music Association. And along with that came, you know, of course, amazing team of people that reached out to me, because I didn't really know the industry at all at that point. And I was able to be introduced to a friend of mine to this day, Tom McKillop, who became my first producer on the first country record that I made. And so that's kind of where it began. He introduced me to a lot of the, you know, great artists that we have out here in BC. I was able to collaborate and put together an album of a lot of songs. I actually didn't write a lot at that point, and so a lot of songs that were pitched to me, but in doing so, I was able to meet a lot of the great talent that were winning awards at that point in the industry. And so for me, I was this girl looking up at these people that I idolized and being able to have some of their songs on my album. So that's where the first album, Every Moment, came in, and that was an 11-song record. I think we released 4 singles off of that album. And that was my first introduction to country music. Now, not to age myself, because it didn't actually come to me in a cassette tape, but my very first award was called the Talent on Tape competition from the BC Country Music Association. But it was a CD, so it's a very fine line there.
But I think I'm having so much fun. I want to pick up on what you said about the styles of music you performed on Idol, because I listen to you now and I can still hear those kind of influences in what you do. It is very tastefully and masterfully done when it's produced, but you can hear like a bunch of stuff, and it's not straight country. You hear all of those influences. Country music itself lends itself to a whole lot of storytelling. At least that's what I've been told by everybody who's come on here, country artists have spoken to. Is that storytelling element still a draw for you as well? Do you find that you're able to write and tell stories in a way that country music allows that other genres maybe wouldn't offer?
Yeah, 100%. I have to, you know, whether it's a song that was, you know, pitched to me, or whether it's something that I've written, for me to get up on stage, I love telling the story. So it's got to hit home for me, and it's got to mean something for me. And whether it relates to a past or present or something that I'm looking forward to in the future. Yeah, that is something that I love about country music, you know, and we all call it the country music family, because that kind of is how the industry is. And it is about just kind of telling that story, whether it's beer and tailgating and whatever the case. It is about telling the story, you know, and not to jump way further ahead to talk about the current single, but, you know, the single that is out right now, it started with, exactly that. It started with some, you know, past story in my life, and then it went into, let's grab a really good rhythm and something that people want to, you know, tap their feet to. And so for me, I really do love, I love the writing and creating, and it can start with lyrics and a story, or it can start with like, hey, that's a rad beat. That's, you know, like that sounds really cool. Now let's put some lyrics to it, you know, so one way or another. But yeah, I do like that about country a lot, and more so, I think, than any other genre. But yet, somebody in that genre might feel differently. They might feel like they are telling a story, but everyone has their story to tell, right? True,
absolutely. Okay, now we're going to talk about your new single, which I absolutely love. I know it's going to be part, or rather the plan right now is to have it be part of an EP that comes out this year, correct?
Yes, that's awesome. Right. Yeah, we've already released 2 singles off of that album so far.
Okay, but Drinkin Song is such a fun song until you listen to it and find out that it's not really a happy song, but it's like a...
I love it.
It's like it's a happy, sad, you know, breakup song, totally. Coming back song, or, you know.
Yeah.
overcoming type song. But
Yep.
just tell me the process about creating that stuff. I read that that the process from which the song came from might have been painful, but the process of creating the song itself was a fun process. So lead me down that path, if you would.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've never really written a song about a past relationship. You know, there was one other song I had back in the day that I touched on, you know, kind of like in the middle of a struggle. But this one, you know, was based solely on a past relationship that I had that didn't work out. And I've kind of never really drawn from that before. You know, partially I'm ready now, it's fine, but partially because it's interesting as an artist. I've always said this, it's interesting as an artist when you're writing, because as soon as you put it out there, then you're opening yourself up to exactly this. Why did you write that song? So now you're in the process of talking about, it's like somebody coming up to you on the street with a microphone and going, tell me about your divorce, or tell me about your, you know what I mean? And you have to be ready to like talk about these things. So I kind of had never done it before. But to be honest with you, I was sitting in a writing session. It wasn't a scheduled write. It was just kind of like me hanging out with some buddies, and which I love, because the creative space is a whole lot different when you're not under a clock, you know?
Yeah.
And we started, actually, I got asked, so what was that, you know, what were some stories? Like, tell me about that situation in your past. So I started talking, and to be honest with you, my buddy goes, what? And I go, yeah, that really happened? Yep, that really happened. I'm like, oh my goodness. So it kind of stemmed from all of these hilarious little pieces that came together to, you know, to make this last single. And I think for me, I was at the point of being able to laugh about the parts that weren't all that funny at the time.
And do you find, I guess that what it is, that beyond just having like a really having a great set of lyrics and instrumentation and all of that, the music serves a different purpose of being able to take our past and kind of reshape it and like recreate a narrative that helps us move past our past.
Totally, exactly. And then, you know, at the same time, I thought to myself, you know what? We all do need a party song right now. You know, we do, like, and at some point in life, this whole situation that we're in right now is going to be a past, you know, and I just kind of felt like this is the time to release it. We all need a good drinking song, and it's a song that you're playing, you know, when you're with all your buddies, and, you know, and I mean, the story behind it is relative, but at the end of the day, for me, I really just kind of wanted to put it out there because I needed it too, you know, like I needed to be able to just sit back and sing a rah-rah anthem song and have a couple beers with some buddies, you know, at this point, buddies in my bubble, but buddies.
I hear you. I hear you. Fun question here. What would be your favorite drink, though? Because at the end of the song, you call bourbon, you call whiskey. I think you say beer. What's your favorite drink?
Oh, are we really going to do this? Everyone's going to totally have a different opinion of me.
No, it's just between us. Nobody else is going to hear about this.
No one else is going to hear. I have two favorites. Ooh, I like whiskey on the rocks. So I do like Fireball. My girlfriend and I call it lady whiskey. So that's one of my favorites, but I also really love Van Gogh espresso vodka on the rocks, and it's just straight vodka, but it tastes a little like coffee, and that on ice is so good. So I know I'm a little on the rocks girl.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, man. It's already been released on digital platforms across the country, like across the world, really. And that's where I got to hear it. But I understand it's going to radio, right? April 26th, if I'm correct. April
26th to radio. Yeah, we have a little surprise in between, and then a little surprise after as well. But yeah, April 26th, it'll be launched on all radio platforms.
Awesome. And we're working also for a music video to come out before then. Am I correct?
Actually, I think we're going to release the music video just barely after.
Okay.
And again, there'll be kind of a little teaser, something in between. So we'll definitely give our audience something to tide them over.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I think, let me just go back a little bit, because
Of course.
I understand that, you hearkened yourself to Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, like, much earlier, and you performed that song over and over again. And when I read that part of your story, because I'm such a huge Whitney fan, as I'm sure the rest of the world is, but it takes a different kind of confidence. Even now, when I see people perform, certain songs at shows and all of that, when you pick a Whitney song, especially at that age, it there's something, it tells me something about you. And I wasn't anywhere far from the mark when I started listening to your music. You have an amazing voice.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, the music you create. So I am a fan of yours, and I just want to let you know.
Thank you so much. Wow, that means a lot to me. Thank you. And the fact that you took the time, to kind of read up about my journey and to listen to some of the songs from my past that I've put out, I really appreciate that. I really do.
Awesome. Awesome. Before I do let you go,
Yeah.
this is one staple question I ask, but I want to find out how you have evolved over the last 15 months as an artist. With all that has gone on with the pandemic and stuff, and it's been a difficult time for arts and artists and stuff like that. What has been your coping mechanism, and how have you evolved, if you have evolved at all? I just want to get a sense of that.
I will start that question off with full transparency. It has sucked. It just has, and we're all okay. And we are I'm so looking forward, and that's what keeps me going. I'm just looking forward to that time. And I keep doing posts like that. I'm looking forward to that time that we get to stand on stage again. And I know for a fact, anyone who's watching, who is in my shoes, and there are hundreds of thousands of us, we're all feeling that same way of just itching to, stand on a stage in front of a crowd and watch people, chant, sing back to us what we're singing to them, whether it's a cover or an original or whatever the case may be. Just like, creating that party again is what keeps me going. And I think the other thing that I would say is that knowing that, we do have all of those people that are with us feeling the same way. So I'm not just sitting over here, in my hometown, just kind of going, oh man, like, this sucks. Everyone else can do everything, but I can't. It's not like that. So, we are, I know it's cheesy and we've heard it a million times, but it's true. We are in this together, and we're all going to get back on stage together, which is just going to be ridiculously wicked when that actually happens. I am somebody who buzzes around and has 8 million things going on usually. So when I'm not on stage, I help run festivals. I help run the Williams Lake Stampede, and I do stuff with Rogers Arena. I do the country night for the Warriors team as well. And so the hustle and bustle was real before, and so when it slowed down to, oh my word, I'm sitting on the couch. There was a moment there where I was like, I either am going to crawl in a hole for a while, and I'm like probably not going to come out for a bit, because I just had that moment of super down. And I'm sure a lot of us felt that way. Everybody deals with things differently. But the one thing I did do, which has totally helped me get through all of this, is I started an organics company. So my kitchen at times kind of looks like a meth lab. But I make everything from foaming hand soaps to bar soaps to lip balms, lip glosses, whatever the case may be, surface cleaners, some things with alcohol, like I make hand sanitizer, and most of it is 100% natural and organic, except for the surface cleaner and the hand sanitizer. But it's called Earthia, and I just kind of started it from scratch a year ago, and I think I'm on order. I know I'm just under 1,000 orders, so I'm 900 and something, and it's ended up in one local spa so far, with a couple other spas and a boutique store getting ready to add it as well. So I mean, I don't want to say boss lady, but like, I got to keep myself busy.
Wow.
So
wow.
I was very thankful that people kind of hopped on board, because originally it was just going to be like to my friends and family and kind of a bit of a hobby, but it's definitely turned into something a little bit more than that, which I'm very appreciative, because I probably would have pulled out these curls by now.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. Wait, was this somewhere, you know, dormant until this time? Was this something that like music overshadowed it, or this was just something that came up when the pandemic
No,
started?
I actually about little over 2 years ago, I saw an ad on like Craigslist or something, and or maybe it was Marketplace. I think it was Marketplace, and I asked my mom if she wanted to join me to go to this lady's house to go make lip balm. It probably was 3 years ago now, to go make lip balm, and we went to this house, and it was like you pay a certain amount of money and you get taught how to make it, and you go home with 5 lip balms. And so that's where it stemmed from. And then I just did it as a hobby in my kitchen, and my girlfriends would come and I'd either give it to them, and eventually they wanted too many, so I started selling them to them. And from then it went into bar soap, and again, it was just a hobby. And then when this happened, it was interesting because about 2 weeks before the pandemic, I thought to myself, you know what, my labels are like super cheesy. They're really pink and yellow and girly because it was just for my friends, right? And so I thought there's
Yeah.
no guy that's going to want to use my lip balm because they're not going to want to bring it out in public. So I had rebranded and relabeled everything into the new name because before it was called KLB Blends.
Okay.
So I rebranded it into Earthia, and then chose a really cool black label with some leaves and so on. And those labels arrived about 3 days before the shutdown. So it wasn't a planned thing. It was just like, so things kind of, you know, thankfully it gave me a direction and a purpose when there really didn't feel like there was one or wasn't going to be one. And with that being said, I feel very thankful that that I have these songs, you know, that I was able to. I know I can't go out there and tour them, and I can't go, you know, play them on a radio station or do what I really want to do, and you know, go on the road and perform them and go visit people and play them live, you know. But the fact that I can get them out there, and now we've got Too Strong is one of the singles, and Drinkin Song we just released, and so both of those are out there now. Then as soon as this dang world opens back up again, I'll be the first one out there, you know.
Awesome, awesome. It's just an amazing story. I've had such a beautiful time talking to you on so many fronts.
Thank you, you as well.
We never have enough time here to explore all that an artist is, because I know for most people, they're not just, it would seem that they're all about the music, and the music is what defines them, but I know just by human interaction that we're much more than, you know, one thing, right? And I think, you know, just coming to the end of the conversation, that's what hit me the most, you know, just by talking to you, that we are more than just one thing. And congratulations to you for starting that up, and for the success that you've had so far on that front. It shows that you can do so many things well, which is just inspiring. I want you to tell us where we can find, okay, yourself as a musician, and also for this product as well. Just tell everybody who's watching.
Sure, yeah. So my website is just my name, and all of the social platforms are just my full name, Karen Lee Batten. So we're everywhere that you have. Most likely we're on there, and I would love more than anything for people to stop by, and if they want to private message me, I always respond. It's always me.
Awesome, awesome. I'm just really, I feel so good about this conversation today. And for everybody who joined in and stopped in, we're very thankful for coming in. I'm really excited for Canadian. I spoke to David Boyd James a little while ago, and he talked about the fact that it was a beautiful time for Canadian country music, which I think it really is. But just generally, the landscape is taking off, and it's showing that we do have remarkable talent here, and you are very much in that cadre. So I'm just very thankful, really, that we have such beautiful things happening here. And whenever this happens to, you know, come to a stop, I hope it does really soon. We'll be very excited to come watch you play wherever it is that we find you.
Thank you. You know what I'm excited about as well? If you think about how many new acts pop up within like a 2-year period that we may not have seen yet, I can't wait to see how many new artists are out there that have actually been able to benefit from learning these different platforms and being out there socially. and you know, having their music be heard. And I'm excited to see what new comes out too, because like we talked about before, there's just so much talent in Canada. So it'll be interesting to see when the world all opens back up. I'm excited to, I don't know, just to see what it all looks like and to go on a trip.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. Well, we're so grateful for your time. We will be looking out for when you go to, when Drinkin Song goes to the radio, and every other thing that you've planned in between, the music video and every other thing that will be coming our way, every other goodness. But thank you so much, Karen. We are supporters of yours, and we'll keep looking out for the stuff that you put out. But I want to say thank you for your time today, and have a lovely rest of your day. Okay?
Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot to me that you guys asked. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Take care of yourself.
Awesome. Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.